They were pounding on my door, voices sharp, overlapping, dripping with entitlement. 2 months of silence, and now they stood on my porch like I owed them something. I didn't rush. I let them stew. When I finally opened the door, I wore calm like armor. "We need to talk," my sister snapped, kids clinging behind her like props. My mother's glare burned hotter than the summer sun. Dad crossed his arms, trying to look powerful. They thought they'd corner me. They had no idea they were already standing in the trap I built. I used to love them, used to bend, stretch, shrink myself to fit into the shape they demanded. Family vacations? Always on their terms. Restaurants? Their choice. Birthdays, holidays, milestones? It was always about my sister and her kids. "Be flexible," Mom would say. "Your sister has more on her plate," Dad would add, and I'd swallow it every single time. But the breaking point came this year. I had saved, planned, and dreamed about my own trip, just mine. And the moment I shared it, they told me to move it, to fit it around her and her kids' schedule. When I refused, they acted like I'd betrayed the family. The attacks came fast, snide comments in the group chat, cold calls laced with guilt, accusations whispered, then shouted, selfish, ungrateful, jealous. I didn't fight back. I didn't explain. I just pulled away. One by one, I muted them. Then I silenced them. Then I disappeared into my own quiet. They thought silence meant surrender. But silence is where I plan best. I started documenting. Every text dripping with cruelty. Every voicemail layered with manipulation. Every demand, every threat, every attempt to twist the knife. I kept receipts, screenshots, backups. Not for me. For the day I'd hand them back, sharpened into weapons. At the same time, I built distance, blocked them from my finances, shifted my will, changed locks, cleaned out any trace of their reach into my life. Step by step, I carved myself free. Step by step, I built a cage around them. And now, here they were, screaming at my door. I invited them in, calm, steady. They mistook my quiet for weakness, like always. "2 months you ignore us," Mom spat. "We're family," Dad barked. My sister's voice shook with venom. "You think you're better than us, planning trips like you're important?" I let them spill every insult, every accusation, filling the room with the poison they carried. Then I set my phone on the table, recording, red light blinking. "Done?" I asked. I slid a folder across the table, printed screenshots, transcripts of voicemails, copies of their words in black and white. Mom grabbed the pages, skimmed, paled. Dad's jaw clenched. My sister stammered. This isn't—" "It's exactly what you said," I cut in. My voice didn't rise. It sliced. "You've called me selfish, useless. You've tried to guilt me, shame me, break me. You wanted me silent? Congratulations. I was silent long enough to collect everything I need." Their faces shifted from anger to unease. They weren't used to the mirror being held up. "What are you going to do with this?" my sister hissed. I leaned back, steady. "Nothing, unless you keep pushing." The room froze, because they understood. Every word they had thrown at me could be turned outward, to neighbors, to friends, to employers, to courts if I wanted. Their power wasn't real. It lived only in my compliance. And now, compliance was dead. I let them sit in it, the weight of their own words pressing down. The kids fidgeted, sensing the shift even if they didn't understand it. Finally, I stood, walked to the door, held it open. "This is my boundary," I said. "Respect it or choke on it." They left in silence, dragging their outrage with them. For the first time, their noise couldn't touch me. It's been weeks since that night. No calls, no messages, just quiet. Sometimes I wonder if they're plotting another strike, if their resentment festers in private. But I don't fear it anymore. I've seen the truth. They need me more than I'll ever need them. Their power was always borrowed from my obedience, my silence, my hunger for their approval. I took that back. And when they came to break me one last time, I handed them the reflection of what they'd become. They couldn't argue with it. They couldn't twist it. They could only leave. Family taught me silence. I turned it into strategy. They taught me scraps. I built a feast from it. And when they showed up at my doorstep expecting surrender, I gave them a goodbye they'll never forget.